Cowboys linebacker Justin Durant placed on IR, lost for the season with a torn right bicep. Alongside Mark Schlereth, I am Jim Basquill, and this is a player that led the team in tackles, that no-name defense that was playing good enough to help the team to a 6-2 start. Impact on this defense moving forward.
Yeah, you know, he was one of those guys that was making so many plays, and this is going to be the problem with the Dallas Cowboys defense in general. It's the battle of attrition that is the NFL season. And when you look at this defense from top to bottom, they lacked talent across the board. They're playing hard for one another, but it's the depth, the talent and the depth that's going to hurt them. Durant, one of those guys that just came out of nowhere to make all kinds of plays for them, and that's going to be the biggest issue. As you start to lose the talent that you do have and the depth has to fill in, you're going to have some issues, and that's where they are right now, losing him. Bruce Carter should come back at some point, but he's been out for a while also. So that's going to be a big issue with the Dallas Cowboys.
You know, roughly they were giving up the same yards per play, this defense, as versus the defense a year ago, which was abysmal. When you take a starter out of the lineup and then you elevate a backup, how does that impact the defense as a whole moving forward?
Well, I think there's a couple of different things. First off, there's a reason one was a backup and one was a starter, because the starter's a better player. But then you have to look at, from a scheme standpoint, what Dallas is doing. They're asking a lot of their linebackers. They're asking a lot of their players, because they haven't gotten to the opponent's quarterback with just a four-man pass rush. So there are a lot of exotic blitz schemes and plays in which linebackers are essentially covering areas that they vacate with safeties and with other blitzers. And so there's a lot of things that you're tied into with the Dallas Cowboys that are very difficult schemes. Like, you're in 1A gap and your responsibility is a hook on the opposite side of the field. Right. And so you're showing blitz, somebody else is coming, and you got to hightail it out to the other side of the field to take away that hook area. And so that, you know, that takes a lot of coordination from a defense in whole. And now all of a sudden you're going to do that with a guy who has less experience and isn't as good a player. Those are the problems that start to happen to a defense over time when you have that kind of battle of attrition that's going on.
Thus far, DeMarco Murray and that running game of the Cowboys has been the best friend of that defense this season. You can read more about this story right here on ESPN.com. For Mark Schlereth, I'm Jim Basquill.